Hello everyone, welcome to another segment of Abalandeli Belanga. It's your host Unga Umlandeli Belanga. It is the 21st today. Happy equinox, happy rest day, happy equal day and equal night day. if there's something like that. We are in the equinox. We are in the day of rest as far as our planet is concerned, because for the next for 2 days, the 21st and the 22nd, the sun seems to be not moving from its position, neither rising nor falling. And technically this plays out for about 2.5 days, from which of course rounded off to 3 days, which gives us the number of days that Jesus spends in the tomb. And so because I've formulated now a lot of the ideas behind Abalandeli Belanga and what needs to actually be happening around this time of year, like I'd highlighted in the previous video, that if you would be slaughtering around this season to cross over into the promised land of Canaan, you will of course align your sacrificial lamb with the Aries celestial lamb that will be rising 7:30 going onwards. It will be rising in the east, further signifying that we are in Passover season. And so now between the 21st and the 22nd, the sun is not going up or going down. It is in one position. And allegorically now, this is where now the scriptures and texts would say you enter heaven, or this is where now the lion and the lamb will be what can sit together, or the yearling will be safe, the yearling and the lion will be safe, the yearling and the lamb will be safe with the lion. That is where it's placed. When it comes to the world around us now, spring, the entering of spring is the entering of heaven, or entering the promised land, or your utopia, the land flowing with milk and honey. And because now we are social beings, humanity has come up with systems over the years to make sure that when these events are happening in nature, they can be mirrored by certain festivals or rituals that we partake in as communities. And so partaking in communal activity is what's important in these times, when the motions of these orbs, they put us in these positions where we are moving from one step to another. For example, allegorized as moving from the land of darkness, which is winter, into the land of light. That is how it's been allegorized. That's how it's been allegorized over the years. And so, as I introduced to us the idea of chakras being able to vibrate certain parts of your body, in turn allowing your body to actually heal from those vibrations that are being perturbed throughout your body. Meaning, especially for us who are raised from a Christian context, meaning that our hymns and our songs, that is what we use to actually do what? To get these chakras going, because you are vibrating those same places, all those vowels in a song. You will use all those vowels. And so, for example, I'm going to give us a song. You need song for these rituals. You need song. You're not just going to stand there and and say, "Yay, we're moving into the land of promise." And so, as we are standing now at the borders of Canaan, about to jump over the River Jordan. The River Jordan, of course, representing Uhlanga, or the jet pillar of Asar, or the human spine, representing the 33-pillared spinal column, the 33 steps of that spinal column. I know some people say, yeah, the 33 masonry and things like that. Yeah, but for us, abalandeli belanga, those 33 degrees, you can take it there if you want to. Those 33 degrees of the spinal column, the jed pilovasa, uhlanga, the Christmas tree, if you will, they represent the same thing. They represent the same thing. That is the River Jordan. That is the Eridanus, if you take it to astrology. So we're standing now, ready to cross over. And of course, as far as planetary alignments and planetary movements is concerned, that the crossing happens at the equinox, the two equinoctial points. The two equinoctial points. Each and every year, the sun is crucified between two equinoctial points. The sun is crucified between two thieves. This is why, again, Saint Andrew is said to have hung for 2 days on the saltire or the X-shaped cross. He hangs for 2 days. These stories are not literal, guys. They are giving us cues. They are giving us cues as to how you interpret or how you calendar or how you calendar or how you categorize or how you further give form to the happenings around you that are not still, for example. And so with any ritual, I'm going to use a song we all know, In Udonga Lasejordani. And so I'm going to go through the song. I'll sing it a bit because, like I said, in ritual, in communal spirit, there needs to be music, there needs to be drums, there needs to be harmony. The vowels of the chakras, we need to play with them. We need to connect. We need to start creating places where, on our terms, we can connect with nature and with the inner being at rest, with the inner ground of being, ubunkulunkulu. We need to be able to create communal spaces where we can partake in these festivals. So yes, we have cleansed our vessels. Because remember, we are still in that 40-day fast. We are still in that 40-day fast. So we are coming from that, and now we are in the Passover. We're going to slaughter the Passover lamb as the Aries lamb rises in the evening sky. So that sacrifice and that will align. And like I said, I'm not saying go slaughter something. All I'm saying is if you do want to slaughter, this is how you can line it up. This is how you can line it up on the day of alignment, on the day of balance, on the day of equilibrium. And of course, now this song, it's in Ngiyakuma eJordani nanga phesheya le ngiphosiso lami kulo izwe laseKenana. The Aryan land will be rising. Sizophumla ezweni elihle sekuyisikhashanyana nje yebo sihube ingoma kaMosi neundlu sibe noJesu phakade. Iyazikhulumela ingoma. With that song, you can work all those vowel sounds of all your chakras. You can line yourself up. Or to be more technical, you'll be coming from the feet. Remember, we're coming from the Pisces going to the head. The land of Canaan is the head. The Most High is where? The temple of the Most High is here. The right sphere is the Holy of Holies. The left sphere is the holy place. And as you come out, it's the court and everything else. So those are the type of songs that we are standing at the River Jordan, about to cross over into the land of promise, into the land flowing with milk and honey. Our spring and our summer is our time of bounty. That in nature, that is the time of bounty. That is when we partake. That is when we charge. We charge our vessels from the fatness of the land of spring and summer. The fatness of the land, the milk and the honey being the produce, the nectarines, the honey, the sweetness of spring and summer. We love it. We know how it is. We enjoy those late night sunsets. We enjoy the wines that come with the summer, the marula fruits, the marula wines. That is what, in a drama, spring and summer represents that moment when the story starts, when everything is all well with the world. It is the place of balance, the place of neutrality. Before the antagonists and the thesis and the antithesis, before they start warring again. Spring and summer is exactly that. Entering into spring, you are entering Canaan. Jerusalem, however, is the summer. Jerusalem, ikhaya labangcwele, or ikhaya elikhanyayo, as expressed in this song. Where is that part going? Or when it says, emagcekeni amahle, emagcekeni amahle, akhanya kuphela. uJesu ilanga lethu elixosha ubusuku. It cannot get more literal than that. In the summer, the sun in its highest position, the 21st of December, every eye shall see him. Emagcekeni amahle akhanya kuphela, uJesu ilanga lethu elixosha ubusuku. That is the height now that is the height of the drama now, of the hero's journey. That's what it is, guys. We can take all these symbols. We can take all these symbols and apply them to the world around us. If you grew up Christian, you don't have to leave anything. You don't have to leave the music, the verses, as long as it's doing what it's supposed to. When these alignments happen, you can meet with your fellow man, you can meet with your neighbors, with your family, and break bread together. As everything in nature is doing what? Is in balance, as everything is in equinox. And the theme is entering heaven. We are entering heaven. We are entering the time of plenty. Now, I understand for a lot of us that this might not be the case, but that is what the natural world is saying to us. Yesterday, the trees they had no leaves. Today they are green. That is what nature is telling us. And what I'm trying to say is, if we can get our communities in line with these principles, it doesn't matter whether you're using the Egyptian system, the Kemetic, the Rosicrucian system, the Losocene system, the Kemetist system, or it doesn't matter which system it is, as long as when these alignments come, when nature gives us these symbols, we should be able to say, thank you, provider, we are recognizing them, and be able to do what? To be one, to be in harmony with nature, regardless of which religious inclination you belong to. It shouldn't matter, guys. It shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter. And so, yes, those are some of the songs. There's many other songs. It says, in the land of Canaan, siyocula ingoma kaMosi neWundlu. The last verse just said that uJesu ilanga lethu. uJesu ilanga lethu. uJesu in a year has 12 positions. In a year, the sun goes through 12 constellations. In a year, it goes through 12 houses. Same as they are They are the 12 houses of Jacob. Actually represents the 360-degree ecliptic of the sun. We come to Moses. Moses technically is allegorized as Mercury, but in this case, because we are talking about crossing over into Jordan, Moses still represents the sun. Remember now, in the story of Moses and in the story of Joseph, it takes Moses 120 years to get to Nebo, where God says, you die here. It takes him 120 years, but of course the zero, when you're reading myths, when you're reading folklore, it's a placeholder, it falls away, which means Moses spent 12 years traveling from where? Traveling from the land down south in Egypt, to the promised land. The land up here, the land flowing with milk and honey. But of course, he doesn't make it because he has his point of illumination, or he reaches his destination at Nebo, which translates to knowing or gnosis. He reached the pinnacle. Remember, it's an allegory, guys. It's an allegory. He in the drama now, he could not enter the land and continue living, because once the sun enters Canaan, the sun goes to Jerusalem. From Jerusalem, the sun will be what? Will be trialed or judged. The sun will die all over again. So now in the case of Moses, he dies at Nebo, which means gnosis or understanding, which means he reached the peak of his what? Of his journey. That is why he becomes, before he's resurrected, that is why he's given the eyes of an eagle to do what? To scan the land. To scan Beulah, Beulah land, sweet Beulah land. To scan Beulah land with the eyes of mind. He doesn't see Beulah land with the eyes of the flesh. He sees the eyes of the mind. And after that, he's like, okay, I've seen enough, take me. I've seen enough, take me, only for him to be resurrected, what? A few days later. I bet it's 3 days. I bet it's 3 days. But yeah, that is where we are, guys. That is where we are. Technically, this is where we place the Passover ritual. But of course now, unfortunately, having our historical predisposition put us in a place where we are not able to recognize the animist rituals that are in these scriptures. The animist rituals that were borrowed so that they could do what? They could formulate the allegory of the scripture. Because that's what these rituals are. If you go to any animist culture, whether here, up Africa, up north, east or west, or even in the Americas, if you go to those animist cultures, you will find them observing ritual over these certain times. Equinox, full moon, new moon, solstice, there is always ritual around those days. And so in the book now, to create the system, they kept all of those of rituals. The only thing they did is they moved it around a bit. They moved it around. That is all that they've done. But now, if you are perceiving not with the eyes of the flesh, but with your inner eye, if I were to use that language, you'd be able to see that the Passover is a spring fertility ritual. In spring, lambs are born. Newborn lambs are born. So what do? You have a fertility ritual in spring. As we do, ngesintu umkhosi wohlanga, that is exactly what it is. We are asking, or we are siteketisa the sacred virgin, uNomkhubulwane, or the celestial virgin Virgo. We are saying, can we please have a bountiful harvest? Who does that? Our virgin. As Lady Chastity Venus rises around those months, that's when we host Umkhosi Wohlanga. That's exactly what it is. And we should be able to keep these feasts, because these feasts are embedded They are embedded in our cells. Anything that resonates with you, anything that we enjoy as a people, those things are embedded in our genetic memory. And you yearn and you long for those things. And when you don't get them, or if you're in a surrounding that cannot fulfill those yearnings, we fall into a lot of misery, depression, alcohol abuse, a lot of things, because there's a need deep within you that is not being addressed. So over the years, I actually realized that as I was growing up as a Christian, that December, for example, it stopped being about the birth of Jesus, whether he was really born on then or that. It became more about family. It was a time. It becomes a time for family, and that's the important part. But now, as adults who have rebelled or who have come out of the system and said, "Hey, man, we are recognizing what this is now," we can still use those alignings. We can be more precise with those alignments, and then join nature as she ushers us over from one season into the next. Join her, be thankful, flow with her. There would be us now flowing with the tide of nature, instead of trying to stand still or swim against the tide. So all this is trying to bring alignment to the South African living in this epoch with our historical predisposition. That is why I don't mind bringing hymns into this. That is why I don't mind bringing lining it up with the chakras, and lining it up with the writings in Egypt, Greece, and the rest of the world, because that is the age we are living in. We're living in an age where a black person can decide, I'm Black Hebrew Israelite, or I'm Kemetist. I believe in the Kemet gods and learn Meduneta, or just the same as the Hebrews. To the Hebrews, the Hebrew language is sacred. To the Kemetists, the Meduneta is sacred. To the Greeks is sacred. So we all have this thing that we are doing, which is not a problem. It's a good thing to have a thing that you do. It will be even better as a society, that when we can actually align our rituals, align our festivals, instead of what we're doing now. We've got Hebrew Israelites, we've got Christians that keep a spring ritual when the sun is actually going down. We've got Christians and Hebrews that keep an autumn festival when the sun is actually rising. Your Day of Atonement, your Feast of Trumpets, all those feasts, they belong with the scales of Libra when the sun is being judged. Hence the Day of Atonement or the Day of Judgment. We need to be able to get that basic with this information so that we can line ourselves up. So that when we come together as a nation to be one in a certain season, we are not pulling in different directions. We can actually all come together in these days, each and every one observing their different form, as long as we are doing it at the same time, envisioning the same things, hoping and wishing for the same effect. All the other nations do it. All the other nations do it except us. All the other nations are very finicky about it. Muslims are finicky about Ramadan and their feast days and holidays. Jews are very finicky about their feast days and holidays. I suppose somewhere deep in their psyche they understand what they mean. They understand the context as far as nationalism is concerned now. Being able to have a calendar where it doesn't matter which religion you are practicing, but we can all come together. We can sensibly come together to say, we are here. We are entering spring now. We are in the solstice now. We are in the fall. We are being born. We need to be able to do that as a society. And so, yeah, as abalandeli belanga, this is the framework. This is the framework. This is how we will hold these ritual, I almost said seances, how we will hold or observe these seances through observing each, and it doesn't matter which leaning you go to. We can take any of these religions and put them together into one whole. So it will not matter. And so yeah, that is what I had for you today. And yeah, happy equinox. And yes, yeah, the subscribe button, please don't forget.